Now this is a mess. You're cheating too. Bruh, I would crash out. Hello, little enzymes. Welcome back to Dacia's Digest. So I'm still on vacation, and I think what I'm going to do during this time is just do shorter uploads. So for the next like week to 2 weeks, you'll probably see shorter uploads, but I might actually make that a permanent part of this channel because typically I upload like between 40 minutes to an hour long videos every single day. One, a lot of people don't even watch like even 50% of that. And I'm like, if I do shorter videos, I can upload more. And I don't know, I'm gonna just try it out. I'm gonna just try it out and see. If it doesn't work, obviously we can change it, but I'm just gonna try it out and see. So these stories were recorded earlier today. As always, all of the information will be included in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for basically going no contact with my daughter after she betrayed me? Trigger warning for there is mention of self-unaliving and infidelity from both sides. So if this is sensitive to you, please don't listen. So it starts, for some background, I uploaded a more in-depth post on my page about what occurred. But basically, my wife cheated on me with a coworker and she begged for my forgiveness. So I accepted, but I have been secretly cheating on her as a type of revenge/closure that ended up becoming an addiction. I know I'm an idiot, but on to title. Now this is a mess. This is a mess. Your wife cheated on you, so now you cheating on her and you stuck. They say I will keep this as short as possible, but basically a couple of days ago, my daughter just out of the blue confessed about her mother cheating on me as she couldn't handle the guilt. She told me for the past 5 years, she has been aiding her mother in cheating on me in exchange for gifts. She also confessed that she knew that my wife has been in affairs with 6 guys and was currently in contact with her coworker, and that her old phone her mother bought her was the device my wife used to cheat on me, and she was the one who was supposed to hide it away from me and delete conversations. She also purposely hid the phone beneath my wife's pillow so I would discover the affair. At this moment, I snapped. I realized it was her all along who put the phone under my pillow and unlocked the passcode. She was the one who helped hide the infidelity, and I was destroyed. I worsened this hole by repeating my wife's actions, and now I realized my daughter betrayed and masterminded the affair along with my wife. Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. How old is the daughter? Let's start there, because I could understand feeling in the middle, like, and feeling like, okay, my mom is saying I have to help and I'm actually getting something from it. I'm getting gifts and stuff from it. At the same time, my dad is hurting. So like, I want to tell, but 5 years though, 5 years is a long time though to keep that a secret. But then if you're not gonna go no contact with your wife, you're gonna stay with the wife, but just cheat on her instead. Why would you go no contact with the daughter? The wife did the most egregious part of it. Like, so why is the daughter getting more smoke than you gave to the wife? They both wrong, but actually everybody is wrong. Everybody in the house, like, they all need family therapy. OP said, I may have snapped at my daughter, but I told her I knew about the affair this whole time, and I thought her mother changed after she begged and told me she cut contact with her coworker, but that was a lie as well. And I told her, you mean nothing to me, and a bunch of other stuff about her mother, which I may regret, but it was the best of the moment. Then I went to my car and had a long drive. My son called me and asked me what happened, and I explained what his mother and sister did to me for 5 years. He broke down. I told him I will look for an apartment for my wife and his sister, as there is no way in hell I will give up my house. My wife and daughter have blown up my phone begging for a chance, but screw that. Anyway, would I be the a-hole for basically going no contact with my daughter for the rest of my life or not? I know she was being manipulated by her mother, but as she got older, she could have realized what her mother was doing was wrong, and I know she hid the phone under my pillow, but I was an idiot and I should have divorced her. but I was too reluctant on paying child support as they are a couple of years away from turning 18, but I won't commit the same mistake. I will divorce her anyways. I apologize for my rant. And I apologize if the reading of that sounded a little bit odd, but this person does not know punctuation. So it was like a one long run-on sentence. This is a crazy situation. Like, there's so many layers to this. Okay, the wife is wrong, point blank. I can see how the daughter can be, like I said, caught in the middle. She's not even 18. He says she's a few years away from being 18. So say she's like maybe 16. That means her mom has had her involved in her affair since she was 11. I'm sure there's some sort of a term for that. It's not grooming, but like it's like a similar thing where like when you do something from when a child is younger, as they grow older, they think that it's normal. So like I don't put like too much fault onto the daughter. The person I feel like he should be the most mad at is the wife. But then let's not forget, you're cheating too, OP. Let's not forget that. You thought your wife was done cheating. Now you're cheating. But you mad that she's still cheating. Y'all all just, you need to get a divorce. This relationship is not working. Y'all all need therapy. It's a mess. So he put an edit. I just want to clarify a few things. I apologize for saying she masterminded the affair along with my wife, but I forgot to mention this. It was my daughter's idea for her mother to hide her affair on her old phone. And secondly, some people in the comments claimed that I was verbally harmful towards my daughter, but that isn't true. I was hurling insults towards my wife for lying to me, her parents, my parents, and her friends that she cut contact with, her coworker, but she hasn't. She still spoke to him. I was feeling guilty for cheating on her. As a type of get back, I was advised to stop, so I did, but I feel no regret now. As I said, I apologize for how I'm reading this. This person, grammar chases them, but they are faster. I like it. Literally, there's just a bunch of commas. I don't know. Anyway, they also said, I also need to clarify that my daughter is 18 years old, not other random ages. I have also spoken to her and I told her I was wrong for saying that I will kick her out and saying she meant nothing to me, but I will need time to heal. But also she is not at fault, but her mother is. Child, what the hell? What the hell? Somebody said, wow. So first, what your wife did to your daughter was abuse. If she's 16 now and she's been going on for 5 or 6 years, that's not your daughter's fault. Some abusers make their victims feel like accomplices. It's super manipulative. I do understand why you're hurt, but please direct it to the right person. Your daughter risked her entire relationship with you to make sure you knew the truth. She loves you very much, I think. Yeah, I agree. Someone said her mom involving her daughter in her affair is emotional incest. That is messed up. I was looking for a word to describe it. I don't know if emotional incest would be the right term, but it's something along that like thought process. Someone said, I can't believe that he believes his daughter at 11 or 12 years old was a manipulator here. He admits that he chose not to divorce his wife because he didn't want to pay child support, but now that he knows the truth about his wife, he's willing to pay for his children. Daughter shouldn't have to prove that she is a victim here. That is completely obvious. Her mother, OP's wife, is the source of their problems. Both OP and his wife are sick where their kids are concerned. Yeah, he worried about the wrong things for real. First update. I will keep this as short as possible, but I'm leaving my son and daughter as I discovered my wife had an affair with my brother and both my children aren't mine. Yo, she just can't do right. She been cheating on this man the entire relationship for years. Yo, with his brother? Bruh, I would crash out. I'm not gonna lie, I would crash out. He said, I was feeling very much like self-unaliving after finding out the truth, and I was close, but I was too scared at the same time, and I didn't want my wife to win. My quote-unquote son and quote-unquote daughter deserve a good life, so I put the house ownership into my daughter's name so she owns it. And for the rest of all of his posts, he puts son and daughter and children in quotation marks. Just FYI, so I don't have to keep saying quote unquote every time he says it. He said, I only own the house, not my wife, in parentheses. And I gave my car to my son so when he passes his license, he can drive it, and a portfolio for him to access when he's 21. And I'm going back to my home country to live near my family and start all over. I admit I may be an a-hole for this, but no therapy can help me see that they are mine. But I hope they understand my point of view and hopefully have their future secured. Yeah, I mean, what can you do, bro? Like, you raised your niece and nephew their whole life, not even knowing they was your niece and nephew. I like, some people just can't get over it. Some people can't get over it, and I understand where he's coming from. I do like the fact that he at least tried to set them up financially for the rest of their life, gave the daughter the house, gave the son a car and a portfolio so that they just wouldn't be ass out, because he really didn't even have to do that. But going back to the home country and starting over does sound like a good plan. Like, I get it. He said, I wrote letters to both of them as I'm too much of a coward to face them, stating that I'm leaving the country, but I will visit from time to time, and I hope they understand that their future is secured, and I will always cherish the moments I had with them. Edit, I just want to clarify some things. I don't know the condition of my wife. She OD'd on paracetamol, and her lungs were already messed up from her drinking problems. When I saw her in my house, she looked lifeless. Oh, Lord. Secondly, people asked what happened to my brother. I simply told my entire family that he was a cheater and my whole family abandoned him. I also told my wife's parents, who she confessed a previous affair, and they practically disowned her. Her sister and her husband have been very supportive, and I will admit I will miss them too and their baby, but I must move on. Finally, my children won't be alone. I gave up my master bedroom to my children, aunt, uncle, no, not my brother, and baby cousin. The kids have always had a good relationship and they deserve a good life, not worrying about bills, etc. I left them a good check since they were very supportive through all of this, and their baby also deserves a good life, who I will dearly miss. Oh, he's saying he gave his master bedroom to the children's aunt and uncle. So basically the aunt and uncle have moved into the house and will like kind of be there to support the children, even though the house technically belongs to the daughter now. Okay, I see. Like I said, the grammar is lacking here, so I'm really trying to get through it. And then the second update, for anyone who cares, I will try to keep this as short as possible, but first of all, I want to clarify a few things. Firstly, I'm not entirely a good person. I'm a good, kind father to my children in their eyes, but I'm not. I confessed in a post that when I originally found out my soon-to-be ex-wife had an affair, I was an idiot. Instead of divorcing her, I repeated her actions and I cheated on her multiple times without her knowing. My excuse was because I didn't want to pay child support, but it was just a stupid excuse. However, I never steeped to the level of my wife to manipulate my daughter into assisting her affairs. I confessed to my children that I was no saint compared to my wife, and I did repeat her mistakes. Secondly, in a previous post, I did mention that my daughter betrayed me by assisting her. I admit I over-exaggerated what I said, and I apologized to my daughter for being angry towards her as she was trying to come to me for help, but I just didn't help because when she told me her revelations about my wife, I just felt so dumbfounded and I didn't think straight. Thirdly, one user mentioned that my son is living with relatives, but that is not true. He's back living in my former house. The same user also said I'm acting like my children don't exist when that isn't true. If I didn't act like they didn't exist, I wouldn't have given them anything, and I still talk to them every day, at least for now. Fourthly, I don't know the condition of my soon-to-be ex-wife, and I don't care about her condition. She can rot for all I care. Finally, to the few people who are sending support, I thank you very much. Now on to the update. I apologize, it won't be too big. Another user believed I was planning to end myself, and they are right. I mentioned in another post that I was thinking of it, and I still am, and I admit I regret posting on Reddit, as many people messaged me saying that I need to man up and be there for my children and told me to go ahead with my plans of ending it all I don't know if this subreddit allows pictures, but I showed an example, and there are many more. These people don't consider male mental health and male self-unaliving rates and just expect me to suck it up and be there for my children, but I can tell you for a fact it's not that easy. I'm not in a fit position to take care of them. The only reason I'm going back to my home country is to try and feel good and start fresh from all the toxicity, but it's scary. I have all these bad thoughts and I keep thinking about how my whole life has been a lie. I have spoken to my children and I admitted my mental health isn't good, but I love them even if they aren't mine. I apologize for this rant. To all the men, even if you have a tiny gut that the children aren't yours, get a paternity test. It could have saved my life 18 years ago. I feel for this man, bro. Like, you raised these kids for 18 years and they were your brothers? Like, his feelings are legitimate. Like, I don't know if I would be thinking of self-unaliving. I might be thinking of, I'm not even gonna say that. I would crash out. You got to be kidding me. Bruh. This was, account suspended. Damn. Let's go to the next one. I, 23 female, am in a dilemma about my boyfriend's actions. Should I let this slide? I need some advice. I, 23 female from Pune. Let's see. Where is Pune? Sounds like a British place. Oh, Google can't be reached. Oh, India. Is that in India? Yeah, it's in India. Okay, I was totally off. She said, I, 23 female from Pune, have been in a relationship with a guy, 23 male, also from Pune, since the past year. We're complete opposites personality-wise. I'm introverted and prefer to stay indoors, whereas he is extroverted and prefers to go out and spend time with others. This wasn't an issue before, but since the past 2 to 3 months, he's been going out a lot with this female friend of his who we'll refer to as Cece. I voiced my discomfort to him, but he brushed it off the first few times. Then I started to feel that maybe I am doubting him too much and it's just a harmless friendship between a guy and a girl. But then, last week, I noticed him receiving late night texts at around 2 a.m. Child. Don't nothing happen good after 9-10 p.m. And he getting texts at 2 a.m.? She said, I checked who it was as he was sleeping and it was Cece. Asking him where he was and why isn't he replying and all. Oh yeah, he cheating. She said, then I scrolled up and noticed they talked a lot, like a lot. And those texts were ranging from I love yous to you're the only one who gets me and stuff. Didn't find anything explicitly sexual as such, but this disturbed me a lot. And I've been ruminating on this since then. I don't know what to do. Girl, leave him, girl. Leave him, girl. I know it's hard. I know you love him, or you might think you love him and all of this. I'm telling you, you will be more happy and more stress-free if you leave him. Leave him alone. Don't accept any of his excuses. Don't allow him to try to gaslight you and try to make you think what you saw wasn't what you saw. You know what you saw. You know what you know. If you don't leave now, endure it for some more. Endure it for some more time until you get sick of it. And then leave. Because some people, even though they know the truth, even though they see the reality, they just got to stick through it a little bit more until they're a little bit more hurt and a little bit more disrespected. Look, I'm speaking from experience, okay? They just got to stick it out a little bit more until one day it finally clicks. At some point, you gotta leave. You gotta leave. Somebody said, he's cheating, break up ASAP. OP responded, I love him so much and just breaking up like that after being together for a year is hard. I don't know what's right and wrong anymore. Another person said, 1 year is not a lot of time. Get out of the relationship before this goes on for years. They're going to sideline you one day and you'll become the side chick. Get out ASAP. He's definitely going to pick her. Another person, OP, come on. That's emotional cheating. You need to leave, like, now. OP responded, yeah, maybe I was too anxious when I wrote it, but yeah, I get the clear picture. Sometimes people just have to let it marinate and it'll finally click. And I'm glad it looked like it clicked for her. I hope. Let's see the update. Update 6 months later. Hello, guys. I posted here 6 months ago when I was really confused about my boyfriend and a girl he was spending a lot of time with. We had been together for 2 years. Oh, 2 years. And things started to feel different. I saw messages from her on his phone in the middle of the night. They said things like, I love you and you are the only one who understands me. I felt hurt and uneasy, but I did not want to seem jealous or controlling. When I brought it up, he told me I was imagining things. He said they were just friends and I had nothing to worry about. He made me feel like I was the one creating a problem out of nothing, so I let it slide. This is where I left things in my last post. I hoped I was wrong. I hoped things would go back to normal, but they did not. He kept getting closer to her. They were always texting. They hung out constantly. I started to feel like a stranger in my own relationship. He stopped sharing things with me. He stopped asking how I was doing. I was watching him drift away, and I kept pretending I did not notice because I was afraid of losing him. A few weeks ago, I found out from a mutual friend that they went on a weekend trip together. Whew. I just don't get it. Why some people, like, why not just break up with the OP? From her boyfriend's point of view, why do this? Why do this? Anyway, she said she found out they went on a weekend trip. He never told me. I had no idea. When I asked him about it, he did not even try to lie. He just said they needed a break and that she had been there for him in ways I was not. Whew! That was the moment I realized I had already lost him long ago. He never really ended the relationship. He just let it fade. He gave all his energy to someone else while I stayed and waited and kept hoping he would come back to me. He never did. Now I am trying to pick up the pieces. I feel broken. I feel like I was emotionally cheated on. Girl, I got news for you. If they went on a weekend trip, it was more than just emotional. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. It was definitely a two-piece spicy being partaken in on that weekend trip. I can promise you. But she said, I feel like I was emotionally cheated on, and that somehow makes it harder to process. He never even saw what he did as wrong. He just moved on like I was never really part of his life. I do not know how to stop feeling like I was not enough. I loved him so much. I tried to be understanding. I trusted him even when my instincts screamed at me to run, and now I feel like I betrayed myself. If anyone has been through something like this, how did you heal? How did you learn to trust again? How do you stop blaming yourself for loving the wrong person? Look, you just gotta remember who you are, sis. You a bad bee. Go put on some makeup. Go put on a cute outfit. Go out. Bruh, my neighbors in this Airbnb just started playing music. Hold on. I gotta change locations. I don't know if y'all can hear that. It's quite loud. Hold on. Okay, I had to change locations. But yes, girl, as far as, how do you heal? How do you learn to trust again? How do you stop blaming yourself? Look, just focus on yourself for real. Focus on yourself. Focus on getting money. Focus on getting fine. Start going to the gym. Start eating right. Start, if you can't afford a therapy, reading some self-help books. Learn more about yourself. Love more on yourself. I promise you, that is the only way to get through. You have to just stay busy. Stay busy with other things and stay busy with yourself. Not too busy with the other men. That will come later. But for right now, you got to build yourself back up. That would be my best advice. Somebody said, chances are there was more than just emotional cheating. It sounds like you don't live together. Back in my 20s, when I got dumped or when I dumped someone, I would put on loud music. That was my vibe. Deep clean him out of my apartment, and I would feel a lot better. OP responded, we used to share an apartment, but since our breakup, I am back at my parents' house. It's a trouble there because I have random breakdowns and I have to hide it from them so they do not make a scene out of it. Someone else said, don't hide pain from your family and people that love you. Allow them to help you through it. OP responded, they'd kill me if they find out about our relationship. Wait, how was she living with him? Did they think she was living alone? Oh, damn. Somebody said, then they're not family. You're a young adult and it's no one's business who you date. However, you shouldn't have to be in shame if you're in pain either. I think this is more of a cultural thing because she did say she was in India. Sometimes it annoys me when westernized cultures are so you're an adult. You should be able to make your own decisions like that. And I have been guilty of doing that in the past too. But like, you really have to understand that other cultures are not the same as ours. They don't operate the same as ours. They don't have the same norms as ours. It's not to say that theirs is wrong. It's just to say that it's different. So projecting the way that we live in our culture onto someone else, it's just not the same. Anyway, OP said, I know, but I don't want to bring them into this. It's better if I handle it alone than make a mess by involving them. Damn, I feel bad for her. I get it, sis. I unfortunately do understand. Oh, I think she has an update. She does. Oh, wait. Yeah, she does. She says, I, 23 female, having a dilemma about how to stop romanticizing someone, my ex, 23 male, who hurt you. It has been a few months since I left someone who emotionally betrayed me. I know I made the right decision. I know he was not honest. I know he made me feel small and invisible towards the end. But some days I still miss him, and I hate that I do. I miss the version of him who used to hold my hand when I was anxious, the version who would send long messages just to make me smile, the one who knew how I liked my coffee and always made sure I got home safe. I keep replaying those parts of him like a highlight reel, even though I know how things ended. I know how badly it hurt when he made me feel like a stranger. I know how empty I felt sitting next to him while he gave all his emotions to someone else. Why does the heart hold on to the soft parts and ignore the ones that broke us? I'm not trying to get back with him. I do not even want to speak to him again, but I am tired of missing someone who made me feel so alone in the end. How do you stop romanticizing someone when you know they were not good for you anymore? Make a list. Make a list of all the crappy things he did to you. Of all the late night text messages with another girl, hanging out with another girl, going on a weekend trip with another girl while y'all are still dating, mind you. When you confront him about it, he callously admitted it, didn't care, basically just ended their relationship up and ended it out of the blue. Make a list, and every time you think about all those supposed good things that he did, refer to your list. Go look in the mirror and remind yourself, this fool wasn't shit. He cheated on me. Don't even just say emotionally. He physically cheated on you. I can make a bet on that. He cheated on you. He left you out to dry. He don't like you for real. And unfortunately, that's just how some people are. That's just how the world works sometimes. People aren't shit. Don't nobody care about no damn, he knew how I like my coffee. Go to a coffee shop. If you go there enough times, they'll know too. Okay? Made sure I got home safe. Call an Uber. They'll make sure you get home safe too. He would send me long messages just to make me smile. Consult with ChatGPT. They can send you long messages too. Nothing that he did was particularly special. None of the examples that you gave really were that special. So you really gotta remember, you really gotta lock in, like I said, lock in on yourself and keep reminding yourself of all the crappy stuff that he did to you. This man played in your face. Y'all was together for 2 years. He played in your mother freaking face. Whew. That's the last of that one, okay? There's another one. Am I the a-hole for locking myself in the bathroom with my Switch just to get 30 minutes of peace? Dang. So I, 25 male, live with my girlfriend, 24 female, who I love seriously. She's amazing, but holy hell, she talks non-stop. I don't mean in a bad way. Like, I love hearing about her day, her work drama, her cousin's dog's digestive problems, all of it. But sometimes I just want to sit in silence and play Mario Kart without hearing, babe, do you think raccoons have feelings? Or, do you think my coworker hates me? Or is just bad at texting? Anyway, last Sunday, I was on the verge of losing it. I had just finished a brutal week of work, and I told her I needed like half an hour to reset. She said, of course, babe. And literally 7 minutes later, she popped in like the Kool-Aid man asking if I wanted to help reorganize the pantry because, quote, it's giving anxiety. Girl, no. So I grabbed my Switch and locked myself in the bathroom, brought a Gatorade, a snack, even lit a candle to really lean into the vibe. I was mid-race when she starts knocking like it's a hostage negotiation. Are you okay? Why are you hiding from me? Did I do something? I tried to explain, still playing by the way, that I just needed a little alone time. She got super offended and said I was emotionally unavailable and using the bathroom to avoid emotional labor. Girl, come on now. Leave OP alone, bruh. Like, what OP needs to start doing, like, if they really say, oh, I need 30 minutes of peace, you gotta set a timer. Like, it sounds like maybe this girl has anxious attachment and also ADHD and also probably needs a little therapy. So you might have to like start setting something like real strict, like for real, set a timer. Opie said now she's been giving me side eyes for like 3 days and making weird comments like, hope the bathroom's comfy, you're a real girlfriend. So am I the a-hole for locking myself in there just to play games and be alone for a bit? I swear I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just needed a moment where no one asked me if we should start composting. Not the a-hole, bro. Like, and maybe they might need a little bit of therapy because she has to learn that she can't just trample all over other people's boundaries and then take that as a personal offense. It's not anything personal. They just need a little bit of time. So some more comments by OP. They said, like, what if I was in there fighting for my life after Taco Bell? I tried chilling in the bedroom, but she kept coming in like, do you want to light a candle with me? Or should we deep clean the fridge together? It'll be fun. I love her, but sometimes I gotta disappear like a raccoon in the night. The bathroom is the only safe zone left in the apartment. And then another comment by OP. I was starting to think I was losing my mind. Like, I get that she's a talker and all, but dang, I just wanted 30 minutes without getting roped into some random deep conversation about almond milk versus oat milk. Mutual respect and love. Yes, that part. I'm not trying to avoid her. I just don't want to burn out being on 24/7. So update 1 day later. Hey y'all, just wanted to give a little update because wow, didn't expect that much support or empathy. Seriously, thank you. I legit thought I was going crazy for needing a half hour away from my girlfriend without being labeled a heartless robot. So here's what happened since. After the whole Switchgate, things were a little frosty. She kept calling the bathroom my man cave and said, don't forget to light a candle for your me time, Chad. My name's not Chad. But good news, we actually talked it out. Like, we really talked. Not, do raccoons feel sadness? I told her I wasn't trying to shut her out. I just needed to recharge sometimes, or I start short-circuiting like a Walmart robot. She actually teared up, which made me feel like a jerk again, and said she didn't realize I felt that way and assumed I was avoiding her. We agreed on something simple. I get a little solo time each day, no guilt trips, and in return, I won't hide in the bathroom like I'm evading taxes. She even said she'd try not to start big philosophical debates while I'm mid-chew or gaming. Small wins. Also, she made a calendar reminder for silent chill time and added a raccoon emoji next to it. So I think we're good. Anyway, appreciate y'all for letting me vent and making me feel less insane. Sometimes Reddit really is therapy. That's what I was saying. Like, she's the type of person that is gonna need like a strict something in place that allows her to leave that man or person alone for that allotted period of time. So I'm glad they got, the little calendar reminder. I hope it works. But I think they also need some therapy. She sounds like she has some anxious attachment, maybe. I could just be, maybe it's something else. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me, but I'm glad it ended up working out. So we don't have a palette cleanser for today. I just wanted to like record and not spend, I like to spend time selecting the palette cleansers. And I was like, if I spend that time doing that, I'm not going to get to the actual like recording. I hope you don't mind. And yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.